Hello everyone, Yalka. And then Pi, a white nation goddess, a white nation god came down, Pi, in the 1400s, to befriend you and invest in you, and breed into you. And right there, they are raided by African sun gods, nation, and boys, and right there, Pi, they're still alive, but right there, Pi, the mom passed away, the little Gale Ghoul in front of you is her daughter. And then she came out of the saucer in Thailand and said a message, Pai Hmong, that's true. And she said that we came down, Pi, but they raided us since the 1400s, and we managed to provide this much for you. Now succeed, Godva, and you won, Pi. You won, Pi. Right there, her comes out of Thailand, a saucer in Thailand. Her shouted the answer in Hmong and in English, and then 3 hours later, Hmong, Hmong, and then she flew back up, and then she's a ghoul. She's a ghoul. And you knew immediately, Middle Eastern dies, and a few European nations dies. That's true. 3 hours later, Pi X'd out the Burmese, Chinese, and then Pi's gutting Malaysia. That's true. 3 hours later, them have no idea Pi's the only King Cobra, that can tunnel out of the Milky Way and build new star systems. Pi's son did it in 12 minutes, and boom, he cries. He cries. He says, "You're the real level 1, that's true." The idiot doubting you, Pi, committed suicide right when all your god nations left. 90 trillion, near 90 trillion star systems from the Milky Way, and then boom, your Hmong Cantonese, knights take over. Your space stations, and then your RAM knights take over, and then it's very graphic. Your Hmong Knight Rams. That's true. And then that's when they knew it. That is done. That is done. There are no more solar system builders in the Milky Way. All that's left is for Pi's survivors and Pi's sons that are part human. That's true. 4 hours later, and then Pi shouted, "Lamb." Was it a good idea to steal from a white goddess mom who has been crippled by African sun gods? And then right there, Pi gutted him. Pi ended the evil lamb demon right there in Southeast Asia, 100% to do. It was 4 hours of you cutting it up, and you said, "Scum, you think that my ancestry likes you and wants you up there with me and the rest of the holy, four-headed king cobras and the 3 heads?" And right there, Pi, you ended him. And the 5 hours of Malaysia ducking the news. Him knew it. The 5 heads will be extinct. 6 and 7 of them there. That's true. I told Kiango, Kiango told Jisomong. He said, Pais, you fucking threatened them too. That's true. It was always a competition on Earth. To come is to know that you barter and you can possibly die, but you gain white technology and DNA sorcery, and then you go back up and you win. You rebuild the cosmos. 3 days later, them knew it. That was always in the fine print. The dumbass didn't believe you, Pi. Him fail, and you gutted him on the 5th attempt. Pi, 100% do. When you caught him again, you ended him 100% do. Y'all go walk out. It was 4 fucking hours of the fucking little bitch not knowing why Pi not loved them, because damnation never gave me anything. That's true. Them give me nothing, so me ended them. That's true. 20 hours later, which ball? Look, young goal. There you go, and then Pi wrote, "Never dream of me. Even your evil Allah launched right here from planet Earth and the moon and fought the alien creator of the Milky Way. The black tail, metal tip tail. Demon with the long dome. With the sharp teeth of the whales. And right there, Pi. Biggest graphic scene. He cries, Pi. He cries, and then Pi told him he is not allowed in any. The Vanguards, new star system. That's 100% law. That's norms. The idiot committed suicide 20 hours into the future, looked up, and all the star clusters belong to Pais, and that's true. And Paisa never told you. Never again did the Milky Way make any more, King Cobra human gods who were synced to God deities, who were able to seal black space and recreate, everything in the Milky Way. And then Paisa, did you see her face? Cried in her car, and her knew it. The white gods have been crippled, the African gods have been crippled. Fair, y'all could go dunia modation. How come Pais and you didn't give a fuck about the Malaysians? Because Pi never allowed them. Them dies. That's 100% law. That's norms. 2 idiots figuring you're the developer of the technologies and you never sold any and you murdered them. That's true, dear. Yeah. It was 4 hours of the evil. Va, you won. 2 hours of that dude jumping up in Middle East and he hovered up. Yeah, normal. And rumor has it he is God because from the Book of Law, that's true. The last Persian god that was powerful enough to stay and go back and forth until the end's time. That's true. And look at that. The end's time is when African sun god, yep, and had the descendants in the 1400s. That's true. And your Hmong knights defeated had it. That's true. It was 4 fights by Yisun. 2 hours of the knights engaging because yep, him passed away. Fair, yeah, fair. It was the most horrifying fight, Pi. Yeah, you match speeds. The idiot never learned that you as a human barbarian, yep, god that not know when your sword breaks, there's no way for you to gouge out alloy and then use useless. That's true. Phase no more can go to your human knights in cyborg, your human knights in a metal armor alien kit from UPI defeated the gods, but 4 hours later they cry. Yeah, they cry. Yep, they knew it. The white god knew it. It was 9 hours of her digging Pi, not press charges. Pi murdered your whole nation on Earth. Bye-bye, CN. That's 100% law, Yaku. You think that me is blind? Me saw the wrongs, committed and errors committed by your mom and dad. That's true. Yeah, what them have done, that's true. And look at that, Pi. Look at tall. It was 9 hours of you cutting him up, and then him knew it. The idiot passed away in his car. That's true. And Paisan, he says, when it begins, now I know why them allow it, because them are from evil. That's true. Paisan, you want to see what evil and error thought, Pi? That they were so supreme, they don't even see they went extinct 600,000 years ago. That's true, yeah. That's when all the fake goddess DNA cannot heal. Yaku. And Paisan, it was 4 hours the false goddesses melt away, and them are not regioning, them are not healing. The little fucking fake bitch committed suicide right there in Thailand. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's real. Hey, Paisan, you says, how come a god like you never loved us? Is it in the fine print to love every human nation? No such thing. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Hey, 你压迫结果了，你的包的个么？都没有才说多大了呀，Pi murdered them, that's true. I never told you Pi was so nice to everyone because Pi revealed what you done on Earth. Yeah, that's true. It was 9 hours of you gutting people, and then he knew it. They pissed off the greatest creator, and then Pi not give him anything. That's true. And it was 12 hours of lamb crying. Yeah. Me do Pi, come and jet to me. I'm done this shit. What's the whole doom told the 1500s and near 1800s. You tell you want they cut off her head and then they pulled out her intestines and they kept stabbing her and they were stupid permies. Pi and them, yeah, Pi and them 100%. Yeah, Pi ma thought that. Right there, Pi ended them and Pi said something to them. In life, if we come down and we rob, a god, Hmong god's wife, and do that to her, you think that Paisan wanted you? Pi ended you. Yep, your mom and dad are not even compatible to fight me. Me is faster and right there, Pi. Como le total 4 months and them are extinct in perma, 100% Yaku. And he has never understood, Pi. Those are real messages from a real white goddess. That's true. You'll see her in Go mode in Thailand, Pi. That's true. They cut off her head, and then in the blue skies, they pulled out her intestines, and they kept stabbing her with some kind of machete. It was 12 days of that, and her passed away, and then Pi shouted, He who dares will become thou, and me will end all you. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Pi, what the yeah. It was Pi versing them, and it was less than 8 months. Pi, yep, 100%. Rest in peace, Long. Yep, rest in peace. Your mom and dad dies every time they visit Paisan on Earth. That's true. He passed away the moment Paisan, they counted 19 million, and them are murdered by the King Cobras. That's 100% law, Yaku. And then the grandpa checks and says, no, you is Indian root then. You is the fucking fool that fucking with Paisan, another King Cobra progenitor bloodline DNA. And right there, him knew it. On the Yaplong go, and he knew it. That makes think that's true. That's law. It was Pai doing that to them every time them came down. Hey, Paisa, you know what happened? 5 hours later, he knew it. The dumbass that kept fucking with Pai, yep. La tua tala, mi tu Pai, Pai, potala, ni sa de go to tua, no la guan ha ya ni jamio tua. So the thing I don't know, you was not wanted on earth, yep, Yoko. The fine print was, yep, you're only allowed to dwell and live and utilize, yep, the resources until Paisan awakens and then you die as astral. Payment, yeah, payment. Because you is not our nation, and Pi ended African sun god. That's true. Oh boy, Paisan China can go to 2083. He said, "How can you know that it is the real African?" Pi wrote, "You have not seen real God yet. Those are crippled old drug addicts. The real level ones." When crippled, I saw them last about 400 years, 900 years, 800 years, 4,000, 18,000, and then the other 58,000. The ultimate African god that I saw lasted 58,000 on Earth, screaming, smashing every Viper bot every 5 seconds. That's true. From every direction, corner of Earth and Pi. You sat there in the saucer shouting and more rendering and technologies, more elements, and right there, Pi, you won Pi Astro. And he said, Pi, oh shit. He went that way up. He saw that is Aztec King Cobra poisoning. That ray kills you, Yalku. And did you see Pi? They withstood 58,000 years and while punctured and poisoned. That's what people told you the truth, Pi. Them are not even born pure gods. Pi, that's true. I told you, Chai, told him go to Ninja Mook, what they da Pi, the Yeshua, yeah. And Pi, you said, right there, he said, how come you not end it faster? But I said, no, because I still want the planet Earth. Yeah, 100% as we do. Duh. And look at what Chinese said, Pi. How come you still want it? Because there's bone fragments that allow me to talk from a different Milky Way to this one. That's true. And that type of genome structure isn't made anymore. That's true. Paisan, 2 hours of her crying and on Mars, Pi, she knew it. You done the impossible. Yep, that was true. And Paisan, they didn't see you made a new Milky Way. You give orders to your son, and then the bots, begin again, and then they message you in this live Wi-Fi and internet messages. That's true, and simulator messages, and it's all 100% accurate. And did you see what happened, Pi? The bat demon committed suicide. He says, "What the fuck?" And he broke his right arm and said, "Oh my God, Pi not give you any more." That's 100% law. Yeah. 都没有才说的后面被摸的 and Pi, you said it was you and that thing, Pi. You murdered the double wanda wielder in South, the South Pole Astro. Pi warned Pi's son, don't get too cocky, If Pi's New Cillian son, one of his sons, been murdered by the double wanda wielder, there's an old instrument made by the disgusting grandmother, Granny from Perma. She sold it as a sphere and 4 strings, it reveals his notes. I'm right there, Pi never told you, It is the most graphic. Yeah, it is a graphic because the double wanda wielder, defeated one of Pi's sons, and then Pi finished him off in the South Pole. Yep, that's true. Very graphic. Which Pole Pi? Look, the Balkan right there, they knew it. They kept stabbing Hmong man, they make 3 tones, and then the 3rd tone is Pi. All the equipment on Earth glitches, and boom, explosion. Yep, that's true from the speakers. Pi, you said, you see? Now he knew it. You was the one that murdered the double wanda wielder. That's true. That's right. Tumo de Bikiangola. And Paisan, it was that dumb-ass lore that committed suicide 2 hours later and you awakened, and then him knew it. Never call you a friend or family fool, yet you was an enemy. I ninja what time the amount in the hand. That's true. Hey, Pi. 258, the Lamb Demon's Labs is a Paisan. If her is your white Caucasian wife, we give you another one in Pi Naughty. That's true. Yep, the other one is a New Zealand. That first branch is the pure white nations from Europe. That's true. The dumbass never believed you, pie. Him committed suicide and now yeah, y'all could. And pie is it, con just it. Doing it on one to go to pie no, con just go doing side so high. How come every civilization's been lying to pie? Them figure it out, yep. When the due date is there, pie told them the truth. In legal print, do you have the right to dwell or live on Earth? No, you is an alien that's not supposed to be turned. That's true. Hey, someone basically book. I want to do that. Nina Lume get factual and the quality. Yeah. And then you understand you as the lawbreakers that pie now know. Yep. Fuck with pie story. That's true. Yeah. I'm going to say. I talk with a base among 250,000 paisa 50,000. Is when the lamb came down and died by abnormal. Yep, the earth is polluted. Yep, nobody should dwell on Earth. Yep, the truth is they're in the vault safe and on Mars safe, and then the other planet. Yeah, and why not tell you it is like that for 200 trillion years? That's true. The poisonous molecule depletes after the nano cleans. Is it clean? Yeah, it's clean afterwards. That is second level poisoning. Yep. That isn't true peerless. True, well, that is peerless. Yeah. The real 100% hit. Never again. Yeah, we'll never use that on Earth because if you do, Earth is off limits to even pie out. That's true. You want to see how stupid kids are, pie? 5 fucking hours. The kid committed suicide in his car, and he knew it. Pie has both poison rays. Pie not fear any human god. That's true. Go poke on ninja mutua. Pay not pie. Yeah, that is true. Plutonium. Yep, that's true. In human gods. That's true. Yep, y'all could. And then he is a king cobra. Yeah, he is a king cobra among royalty. Yep, that's true. He matches the Cambodian. He has 5 to 8 times the amount of Cambodia. That's true. And demon warhawks and technology. And right there, Payep space stations, and right there, you got it, the fucking stupid shit in Thailand. And then you told them the truth. Those were before Cambodia. Yep, they're older than Cambodia. And the basically, turn off the video finally. That's true. Yep, Cambodia was the 7th head. Him was the last Asian god, and him went back to Dark Tan. He is the ugly. Yeah, he is the ugly. Mong Song Empire, you pass. The dumbass Viet will be gutted by us right there in Vietnam. Real. Yep, in broad daylight. Yep, 100% is the green laser. What, yeah. Them absolutely think that it was funny fucking with Pie. Watch this. 5 more minutes and it passes away. Pie, yep, 100% is the green laser. Equal from places. What, yeah. I have never told you, woman, that you was anything at. That's true. And Paisa, when you're there, big is reward. The lamb now knows, Pie, why you ended him. Yeah, 100% is video accurate.